First, it was the Trek Marlin was overpriced, not having any of the modern standards to be considered a real mountain bike. Then it was the Polygon Siskiyou frames crack, and people don't like where it's made. Then it was the Trek Remedy's geometry was outdated, and nobody rides 27.5 wheels anymore. Mountain bikes being expensive is one of the main drawbacks. Then Walmart comes out with a budget mountain bike for under $500 that is actually worth investing in, but people say they don't like it because it's from Walmart and that they don't like where it's made. So if people have issues with the high prices, what you get on these mountain bikes for the price, and issues with where the bike was made, once someone does come out with a good quality bike at a reasonable price, then what's the answer? Because when people said this next bike I'm about to show you was garbage, that really made me wonder, if no mountain bike is good enough, then what is? As a lot of you know, I've been making a lot of videos on the Walmart bike lately, and that's only because I actually like the bike. But I just got another bike that I think is an even better deal if you're willing to spend that kind of money. And I don't think you can get a better deal than this at the price point. Now trust me, I get it with the Walmart bike, but this bike, this is the one that confused me. So I posted this bike on my Instagram right when I got it and got it all built up and stuff. And I had a few people tell me this was junk. And I said, okay, if the Walmart bike is junk, if this bike is junk, then what's the real issue? Something has been really making me wonder lately. And I know it's not all people, but it's enough people for it to be a problem in my opinion. People say mountain bikes are too expensive. They price people out of the sport and stuff like that. And then you get a quality mountain bike like this that's, in my eyes, fully loaded, and I would consider this a fancy mountain bike. And this is under $2,000. While you have other companies that sell mountain bikes for the same price and don't have half of the stuff that this bike has. I'm kind of confused at the moment. You get a super cheap bike like the Walmart bike that you could upgrade until you don't want to upgrade it no more. You got this bike that's ready to go right out of the box that's literally super sick, and it's still garbage. So I don't really get it at this point. If we have a problem with the Walmart bike that delivers, and of course I get it because it's a Walmart bike, none of us have any faith in Walmart bikes. But if we feel the same way about $1,800 bikes, $2,000 bikes, $5,000 bikes, I've seen it all. People have issues no matter what the price is. Does that mean that the companies are not delivering at the price points that they have these bikes? Or are we expecting too much from these companies? Now I get it. We all like nice things. We like fancy things. And if I could choose whatever bike that I wanted, it would not be a Walmart bike. So I get that part. But look where I am, just out in this beautiful nature. So I think sometimes we lose sight of what this is actually all about. As we roll up to my next little spot, I like to climb this as a little warm up. This is the beginning of the trail out here at Bitter Brush. It seems like when new things come out, the initial reaction is negativity over excitement. So when I had the Trek Marlin, people were talking about it doesn't have a tapered head tube or anything like that. These budget bikes need to come with those components on it ready to go. Now Walmart comes out with the rear through axle, the tapered head tube, everything you need to do modern upgrades. People complained about that. Intense comes out with the 951 fully loaded Fox suspension front and rear, carbon frame, under $2,000. I don't know where else you can find that deal. People call this junk and, oh, that's Costco junk. So my question is, what constitutes a bike that's actually worth riding? What do you consider a quality bike? A lot of you brought up a good point. Some of you said they need to bring back racing and they stop televising all the races and things like that. So the visibility went down. And it's interesting that you say that because a lot of sports leagues are going through the same thing. Baseball and basketball, just a couple examples. And I'll never forget this quote. Somebody told me this when I was thinking about giving up on YouTube because I was thinking, nobody wants to watch biking videos or anything like that. And he said, if they don't like it, make them like it. That hit home. I said, that's a great idea. So now that's why I approach my videos the way I do. I don't try to sell bikes. I try to sell an experience. The experience you can get being on the bike. And whether people like it or not, I think mountain biking is just a lot different than it used to be. And a lot of other sports leagues as well. They're trying to get the average person to get into the sport, to grow the sport. And that's what is happening to mountain biking. They are losing that average person. And that's who I'm trying to reach because I'm an average person that just wants to ride a bike. A lot of times I'll just stop riding and just look around. I can't believe all this beauty around me and I could just ride a bike out here. It's just an experience just being out here. And I can't tell you one time I've ever consciously thought about the bike I was on while I was out on the trails. I've never thought once, dang, I wish I wasn't on this bike right now. Something else I was thinking about is, I don't think a lot of people have really underbiked or anything like that, because then you realize real fast, like these bikes are way more capable than you could ever even imagine. Like people call this junk. Look at this. Like this trail, and I'm not trying to say it's easy because I don't like to say mountain biking is easy, but on this bike, this trail feels like nothing to me. Like all this chunk right here is just nothing. And honestly, this is the reason why I love hardtails, because it adds that extra level of difficulty while still being fun at the same time. Because riding a bike like this, to really push it, you really got to push your limits. And I'm at the point where I'm not trying to do all that. I don't heal as quick. So I got nothing against full suspensions or nothing like that, but when people say this is junk, I'm like, what in the world are you talking about? Now, I've ridden some crazy trails. I've even ridden Portal Trail in Utah, which is one of the most dangerous trails you can ride. And there's nowhere that I've ever ridden that I would ever have to even think twice about taking this bike. So when people say it, I legitimately do not get it. Like, if this bike is not good enough, what the hell kind of trails are you riding? That's what I want to know. Shoot, if this bike is not good enough, I don't even want to ride the trails you ride. I don't even want to know what trails you ride, for that matter. So that's my question, is if no mountain bike is good enough, then what's the answer?